So today we are going to discuss the text 10 of the Nectar of Instruction. So in the previous text, that is in the verse 9, we have discussed about the hierarchy of the dhams. Yeah, we have seen how of all the holy places, more than the Vaikuntha Dham, the Mathura is more superior. And superior to Mathura is Vrindavan, because in Mathura, Lord Krishna has taken birth, but in Vrindavan, he has performed his pastimes. And in Vrindavan, the most auspicious are the 12 forests. And more than the 12 forests, is Giri Govardhan, because he's Haridas Varya, very dear devotee of Lord Krishna. And more than that, the most holiest of all holy places is Sri Radha Kunda. So in the last session, we have seen how this hierarchy is made. And we have also seen and understood the Gaudiya Vaishnava dimension of this whole thought process, how Srila Rupa Goswami has given it, for us to cherish, honor, and understand the glory of the Bhauma Vrindavan and the various places. So not to actually, compare and feel ourselves great or superior, but this is the Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta. So basically, we have different books that we learn as a part of Bhakti Shastri, which are like the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita, Isopanishad, Nectar of Instruction, and Nectar of Devotion. So Bhagavad Gita and Sri Isopanishad as such teach us the general spiritual principles and values. Yeah, the very generic principles which are universally applicable, as in I'm the Atma Tattva, I'm not this body, I'm the soul. And there is about the Ishvara, Jiva, Kala, Karma, Prakriti. Yeah, so these are the generic spiritual teachings that we learn from the Gita. And Isopanishad, of course, we will learn in the next session. But the teachings of the Nectar of Instruction and Nectar of Devotion, these are for the seekers who are who are genuine seekers and practitioners of the path. Yeah. So Gita, and especially the Bhagavad Gita is and also provides it. But if someone is fixed and having understood the purpose, the ultimate conclusion of the Gita, and if someone wants to seriously practice it and seek after the goal that has been concluded by the teachings of Gita, then for them, Nectar of Instruction is the book. So through the 9 verses, we have learned various aspects as I've just revised. So today in the 10th text, the hierarchy of different levels of of the people, the practitioners, is given in the 10th chapter. In the 9th verse, we have learned about the hierarchy of the dhams. And in this 10th verse, we're going to learn about the hierarchy of the practitioners. Who is superior to whom? Yeah, so we will first read the verse and let the translation, and we will get a glimpse of what I'm saying. Okay. Nectar of Instruction, text 10. Karmibhya parito hare priyataya vyaktim yayurjnaninas.
Mataji, we can't see the screen.
Oh, you can't see the screen? Okay, I'm sorry. One second. Yeah, hope you all can see now. Karmibhya parito hare priyataya vyaktim yayurjnanina. Tebhyo jnana vimukta bhakti parama premaika nishtastata. Tebhyasta pashupala pankajatrisha tabhyopi saradhika. Preshta tatpadiyam tadiya sarasitam nashrayet kakriti. Let us read the translation. In the Shastra, it is said that of all the types of fruitive workers, he who is advanced in knowledge of the higher values of life is favored by the Supreme Lord Hari. Out of many such people who are advanced in knowledge, or the Gyanis, One who is practically liberated by virtue of his knowledge may take to devotional service. He is superior to the others. However, so please, make a note of this hierarchy. So the fruitive workers, who are the karmis, and superior to them are the jnanis. And superior to the jnanis are, we're going to read now. One who has actually attained prema, pure love of Krishna, is superior to him. The gopis are exalted above all the advanced devotees because they're always totally dependent upon Sri Krishna, the transcendental cowherd boy. Among the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most dear to him. Her kunda is as profoundly dear to Lord Krishna as this most beloved of the gopis. Who then will not reside at Radha Kund and in a spiritual body surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings, aprakrita bhava, render devotional service to the divine couple Sri Radha Govinda, who perform their Ashtakali Leela, their eternal eightfold daily pastimes. Indeed, those who execute devotional service on the banks of Radha Kund are the most fortunate people in the universe. So here, as I said, we are reading about the hierarchy of the practitioners. So Sri Rupa Goswami is beginning with the karmis, the fruitive workers. Karmibhya parito hare priyataya vyaktim yayur jnanina. That is, of the fruitive type workers, he who is advanced in knowledge of the higher values is favored by the Supreme Lord Hari. So, we will just briefly discuss about this, and we will try to understand this entire verse in the light of the biography, the life as we are observing the desires. Because they're chasing after their material desires more and more, the karmis are more and more entangled by the laws of material nature. So that is why jnanis are superiors, because they don't get into these useless endeavors. So that is why jnanis are superior to karmis, because they are just, cultivating knowledge. And superior to the jnanis are, interestingly, the jnanavan. So let me take you to the exact word that has been stated in this verse. Jnana vimukta bhakti parama. Jnana vimukta bhakti parama. That means those who have, superior to the jnanis are those who have acquired knowledge, that has brought them to the ultimate conclusion that bhakti is the supreme. See, so out of many such advanced people, people who are advanced in knowledge, one who is practically liberated by virtue of his knowledge may take to devotional service, and he is superior to others. So the Gita verse that is concomitant to this particular verse is that the statement is that bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyante vasudevam sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. So bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyante. So who is this jnanavan? How is he different from the jnani? We just now spoke about jnani is superior to karmi. Now, in the Gita, Krishna is telling bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyante. So who is this Jnanavan? So basically in the Gita 7th chapter, Krishna speaks about the 4 kinds of people who approach him. Who are the 4 kinds of people? Artho, Arthati, Jignasu, and Jnani. And of these 4 types, Jnanis are superior. This is what Krishna declares. And after speaking about the Jnanis, who are superior to the rest of the 3, he also speaks about how Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyante. Who is this jnanavan and how is he different from the jnani? Jnani is a seeker of knowledge. He's pursuing the path of knowledge. That is a jnani. Jnanavan is someone who has acquired the knowledge. Jnanavan. Van means one who is possessor. He's the possessor of knowledge. He has acquired the knowledge. And this knowledge is liberating. Yeah, knowledge that is Jnaninas, as we have read in this particular verse. What is that Jnana? Jnana vimukta bhakti parama. Jnana vimukta bhakti parama. That is the knowledge that liberates one. Yeah, that is the Jnanavan. So out of those many people who are Jnanavans, yeah, Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. One who actually comes to the conclusion that Lord Krishna himself is everything. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. To get such a Mahatma, is Sudurlabha. Very, very, very difficult and rare. Yeah. So by pursuing the path of knowledge, you might come to the stage of attaining that knowledge which liberates you from threefold miseries of life and the material inebrities. But even amongst those Jnanavans, to come to the stage of that level of knowledge by which one understands that Vasudeva Sarva, everything is Krishna. That Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Matta Sarvam Pravartate, everything is emanating from me. And I am the origin of everything, But to get such a Mahatma is very, very, very rare. And he is superior to the ordinary Jnani. So we have seen now 3 stages, the Karmi, the Jnani, and the Jnanavan. Yeah. So the superior to Karmi is the Jnani, and superior to Jnani is the one who has come to the platform of devotional service by dint of the enlightened knowledge that he has received. Now, amongst these Jnanavans who have come to the stage of the platform of bhakti, one who has come to the stage of Premaika Nishta, that is, those who have attained pure love of God, they are much superior. Yeah. So one who has actually attained prema, pure love of Krishna, is superior to him. So out of the Jnanis, those who have come to the platform of pure devotional service are superior. And of the people who have come to the platform of pure devotional service, the one who has attained that stage of prema or pure love for Krishna, they are more exalted. And of these people, the gopis are most exalted devotees. Yeah, even amongst those who have attained pure love of God, the gopis are the most superior and celebrated. So that is why Lord Krishna himself, to his dear associate Uddhava, when he was living in separation from all the Gokula Vasis, the Vrindavan Vasis, the Braj Vasis, to glorify their love and to give special mercy to his beloved devotee and cousin Uddhava, through the medium of sending a sandesha, he actually blesses him with their association to understand what are the zeniths of pure devotional service. So when Uddhava actually comes to Vrindavan and he sees all the Brajavasis, he was so wonderstruck, and he began to understand what actually is Shuddha Bhakti, what actually is pure devotional service. And when he saw the gopis burning in the separation of Lord Krishna, he couldn't contain himself, and he felt himself as insignificant in front of them in terms of his attachment and love for Krishna. And when he actually saw Srimati Radharani and her pangs of separation, he was so totally humbled that he felt that, let me just be born as a creeper on this Brajabhumi so that I get the dust of their lotus feet on my head and one day attain to, a devotion which is somewhere close to that. So this was the mood of Uddhava when he has come to Vrindavan. So this is the exalted nature of the love of the gopis for Krishna. So why is the gopis' love so celebrated? Why is it so exalted, even amongst all the Brajavasis? So in Vrindavan also, there are so many devotees of Krishna. The bumblebees, the beautiful flowers, the peacocks, the deer, all these, the parrots, the swans, all the animals in Vrindavan, the trees of Vrindavan. Everything is living. And they're also loving Krishna in their own Shantarasa. And there are also many devotees who are like the assistants of Yashoda Mai, who are assisting in various capacity in fostering the service of Krishna. And there are so many friends of Krishna, so many friends, the Gopas. And there's so many cowherd women, and of course Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya, who drown or drench Krishna every day in their prema, Vatsalya prema. And amongst all of their love, the love of the gopis is considered the most superior. So what is it that makes the love of the gopis so superior to everybody else, even superior to the love of the parents of Krishna? So actually there is one very beautiful pastime of how Yashoda Maya understands, not just understands, but acknowledges the superiority of the love of Radharani for Krishna. And this is a very beautiful pastime. Maybe I will tell some other time. So why is the love of the gopis so superior to every other form of, even superior to the love of the queens of Dwaraka, who are also related to Krishna in the Madhurya Bhav? So why is the Parakiya Bhav so exalted, so superior to all other forms of love? Because it is the most unconditional. We only hear and speak of unconditional love in material world, but its reality exists only in the spiritual world. So that is why the gopis' love for Krishna is so celebrated. It is the highest form. Because it is beyond any expectations, and it is purely and purely and purely for the pleasure of the beloved. So many times in the name of love, what we are actually trying to acquire is a gratification of our own desires, our own interests, our own ego, if we actually go into the core of what we are expecting. And it's very, the closest of the experience of love in this material world is the love the mother has for the child. Other forms of love is their reflections, nonetheless, but they point to something. So, why is the love of the gopis celebrated so much? Why is it worshipped so much, considered the highest? It's because it is the most unconditional form of love. So amongst all the gopis, the one who loves Krishna the most, or the most dearest, or the most exalted devotees of all the gopis is Srimati Radharani. So, and the place Radha Kund is not different from her personal presence. It is stated in the scriptures that the Radha Kund is as dear to Krishna as Srimati Radharani herself. So Srila Rupa Goswami concludes by saying, which is that, so the most intelligent person is that person who actually performs devotional service on the banks of Radha. So now this is very great information. So does that mean we pack our bags today, renounce everything and just go and to the banks of Radha Kund, sit there and chant our Mahamantra and, continue our rest of our lives there? Is it so easy? So today we will try to understand through the life of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, whose bhajan kutir and whose samadhi is on the banks of Radha Kund, how he has spent his life, how he has attained the favor of the Lord, and how he has actually come to the banks of Radha Kund to perform his bhajan. So through his life, let us try to understand what, at least, by a glimpse, what it takes to qualify oneself to stay at the banks of Radha Kund. So Srila Raghunath Das Goswami is one of the 6 Goswamis, and he's also called the Prayojana Acharya. So he was born in a very, very rich family called the Majumdar family. Yeah, and they were highly, highly aristocratic people. Yeah, they were almost given an entire village, a province to take care of. And they used to collect the taxes. In those days, it was something like 20 lakhs. And of that, after paying back 12 lakhs, they had 8 lakhs all for themselves in a year. So this is 500 years back. So 500 years back, what is 8 lakhs in unimaginable? Maybe it runs into billions. So highly, very elite and aristocratic family, the Majumdars are. And Srila Raghunath Das Goswami was, the only son. And right from childhood, he had a very deep desire to hear about the glories and pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He had a teacher whose name was Balram Acharya. So as a small child, he heard, the glories of Mahaprabhu and the pastimes of Lord Krishna, and his heart was very much fascinated and attached, to the worshipful deities of Radha and Krishna. So over a period of time, Balram Acharya has connected Raghunath Das Goswami to Srila Haridas Thakur. And from Haridas Thakur, he heard more and more about the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as he was hearing and, understanding his glory, as he was just imagining his, immense beauty, he developed very, very deep desire to take the darshan of Mahaprabhu. And he couldn't stay home anymore. That, he was wanting to run away from the house and take shelter of the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. So at that time, he receives an instruction saying that this is not the time for you, Raghunath Das. You have to go back, stay in your own house and do your duties. You can join me when time comes. So after receiving this instruction, again, Raghunath Das Goswami goes back home. And after he goes back home, actually his parents get him married to a very, very beautiful girl. So although Raghunath Das Goswami was married to a very beautiful girl, he had everything what, all of us are chasing after. The greatest of wealth at his disposal, the most beautiful, subservient wife, having got married to her. But he could not put his heart into anything. Although he was married to a beautiful wife, he always spent his time in a distant corner of the house, in a seclusion, in a room, always, immersing himself in the thoughts and bhajan of Lord Krishna, and always desiring to, again, take shelter of Mahaprabhu. So in this way, again, in this pursuit, he again he goes and takes shelter of Nityananda Prabhu. So in this, when he takes shelter of Nityananda Prabhu, Nityananda Prabhu tells, oh, you're the son of a very rich and aristocratic family. So, why don't you sponsor a feast to all my followers? So this famous pastime is the pastime of Chidadahi festival, which takes place in Panihati. So at that time, Raghunath Das Goswami, he sponsors a huge festival for the whole village of Panihati, of Chida and Dahi, with the flat rice, in yogurt, to everybody, he gave these 2 pots, one pot with flat rice with yogurt and another pot of flat rice with condensed milk, with all fruits and nuts and all the, nice items. And he called everybody from the village, from the surrounding villages also. So it was such an amazing feast that all the people of Panihati and the nearby villages, they just flocked, and everybody was sumptuously fed this delicious prasad of Chidadahi. And so much so there was no place only on the ground for them to stand. There were some people also stood in the lake, on the banks of Ganges, and standing on that, they were eating. So there was a dearth of place. So many people came for the festival. So when so many Vaishnavas were fed sumptuously, Nityananda Prabhu was very, very pleased. with Raghunath Das Goswami. He personally introduces him to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu very lovingly embraces him. So this is the way to the Supreme Lord. Yeah, one should serve. Nityananda Prabhu represents the spiritual master. Yeah, one should adequately serve the spiritual master, please them. And that's when, one can approach Lord Krishna. Today I was just hearing a very nice quote. I was just reading a very nice quote in the book, one of the book of Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj. We all say Guru Puja. Yeah, we all do Guru Puja or attend Guru Puja. What exactly is Guru Puja? The meaning of Guru Puja means to understand what is the desire of the Guru and give our life, our heart and soul in fulfilling the desire of Sri Guru. So, such a fulfilling of the desire of Guru is actually Guru Puja. Yeah. So then this beautiful pastime, so beautifully, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami has exhibited this, at how he has executed the order of Nityananda Prabhu and won the favor and thereby got connected to the Supreme Lord. So again, he went back home and again eagerly waiting for... So now that when he returned home, his parents became very strict. They're thinking that, he's running away from the house time and again. So he has to be guarded. And so, this time they put 10 guards around him, always, seeing that he doesn't escape anywhere. So very, very strict. So in that kind of a strict atmosphere, Raghunath Das Goswami was always looking for an opportunity to escape and go. And he heard that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has reached Puri, and his heart was longing to go and stay at Puri and meet, and surrender to Mahaprabhu, in the most holiest abode of Jagannath Puri Dham. So he was just waiting for an opportunity. So as days passed by, one day it so happened that their family priest, he said that I'm going out of station and I need somebody to take care of my deities. So Raghunath Das Goswami said, oh, I will accompany you to your home and there I will find you a Brahmana who can take care of your home deities. Then, the family priest said, yes, please come with me. So in that way, he starts with the family priest and then leaves him at his house. And after that, finding that as an alibi, as an opportunity, he runs away. So Raghunath Das Goswami runs away and he goes to Jagannath Puri all the way, from Bengal to Puri, walking. Yeah. So we're all going to take a train, right, from Hyderabad to Jagannath Puri. It's an overnight train. So in those days, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami on foot, he traveled all the way from Bengal to Jagannath Puri. And it took him 12 days for this travel. And as he was traveling, it is said that on the way, he ate only thrice. Yeah. And so what gave him that energy to walk all the way? It's just the spiritual energy. Whenever we are on a spiritual mission, somehow the mission itself gives the energy, which is beyond explanation. The energy which probably no food can supply, no drink can supply is given by this internal spiritual energy. So he travels 12 days and he reaches Jagannath Puri, and there he goes to Gambhira. Yeah, that's the house of Kashishwar Mishra. So there he then falls at the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu and he says, I have come to surrender my life to you. Please accept me. So at that, Mahaprabhu was so pleased with his disposition and he embraces him. And he puts him under the custody of Swarup Damodar Goswami, who is his dear associate. So, and then at that time, actually his parents were really searching after him. And after a thorough search, they got the news that he has fled to Jagannath Puri. So his father, being very dejected, disappointed, and finally losing hope, he calls forth a servant and he gives him a lot of money and says that go and hand this over to my beloved son. Tell him to, buy a, good property and stay in a good place. Yeah. And, son, let his needs be taken care of food, clothing, and shelter. Saying that, he gives lots of money to the servant and sends him. So this servant brings that money and he tries to hand it over to Raghunath Das Goswami. But Raghunath Das Goswami rejects. Yeah. And he says, I have come here to live as a beggar and I have no connection with all these riches. So now after this, Mahaprabhu also, there is only one time that Mahaprabhu instructs Raghunath Das Goswami directly. So he comes to take instruction from Mahaprabhu. Raghunath Das Goswami approaches Mahaprabhu and he says, so I have come here to surrender my life. Kindly instruct me what I can do. So again, Mahaprabhu says there's this one very famous verse, Gramya Katha Na Sunibe. He just gives a set of instructions that don't engage in worldly talk. Don't give your ears to the gossip of this world. Live in a simple way. Eat in a very simple way. Dress in a very simple way. And utilizing all the time, engage yourself in the bhajan of Sri Radha Krishna with your heart. So he says, this is my instruction. And he again says, I have connected you to Swarup Damodar Goswami and he is more powerful than me. Take instructions from him and follow him. So ever since that time, actually, Raghunath Das Goswami takes complete shelter of Swarup Damodar Goswami. And in this way, he exemplifies the mood of Dasanudas. Yeah. The mood of Dasanudas is that one does not feel oneself qualified to directly approach the Supreme Lord. Yeah. He approaches through one of his servitor. So this is what Raghunath Das Goswami exemplified. The mood of Dasanudas. He hardly ever interacted directly with Mahaprabhu. Yeah, he was always taking directions and instructions from Swarup Damodar Goswami, who was his immediate guide. So, and interestingly, Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has showered immense mercy. When he was leaving to Vrindavan, he gifted him his personal Govardhan Shila, which he worshipped for many, many years. Yeah, and which was, worshipped not with anything, which was worshipped with the tears of Mahaprabhu. That Govardhan Shila, he actually gifts Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. And he also gives his personal Gunjamala. Yeah, so we can have the darshan of these two in Vrindavan. Yeah, they're still present. The Gunjamala, this is there in the Radha Vinod temple, just beside the Radha Raman temple. Yeah, the Gunjamala given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Raghunath Das Goswami. And also then and at that time actually Swarup Damodar Goswami, he actually leaves his body and he joins the eternal pastimes. And he receives a final instruction from Mahaprabhu to go to Vrindavan and join Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. So that is when Raghunath Das Goswami actually goes out because of the instruction. He goes to Vrindavan, and that is where he associates with Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. And every day, for 2 hours, he used to speak about all the Chaitanya Leela. See, this is how Chaitanya Charitamrita has been compiled. Yeah, very amazing, because Raghunath Das Goswami stayed in Vrindavan, in Jagannath Puri, and he was a witness of all the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. So he goes, based on the instruction, he goes to Radhakund, he goes to Vrindavan, and there, in the association of Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, by their instruction, every day he used to recollect these pastimes of Mahaprabhu in Puri. So that's when, hearing regularly these pastimes, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami actually compiles all these pastimes as narrated by Raghunath Das Goswami as the Chaitanya Charitamrita. on the banks of Radhakund. So, and as Raghunath Das Goswami was staying on the banks of Radhakund, there are many beautiful pastimes that took place. Yeah. So one day, when he lived such an austere life. It is said that the vows taken by Raghunath Das Goswami are so severe, like, are as strong as the lines carved on a rock. If you recently, I just went to Warangal, yeah, the whole place which has been ruled by Kakatiya. It is also called the Ekashila Nagar. So we have seen all these beautiful stone temples. All are stone carvings, and these stone carvings are there for the past 800 years. Yeah, and everything is intact as it is. Of course, they have been destroyed by the Muslim rulers. But nonetheless, all these carvings are surviving the time. Why? Because they're all sculpted on the stones. So anything that is sculpted on the stone, it lasts. It passes, it stands the test of time. It's not erased by anything. So the vows taken by Raghunath Das Goswami are so severe that they're like the carvings on the stones. Nothing can erase it. And he was so strict. Even when he was living at Jagannath Puri, he was so austere and so renounced that initially he had the Mahaprasad. He used to, every day he used to survive by begging. Imagine a millionaire's son. He was always at the gate of the temple of Jagannath Puri. He used to simply survive by begging food. And whatever he used to get in alms, he used to eat that. After some time, he felt that even this is too much of luxury. Then you know what he did? He never even used to beg for food. The excess of food that has been like the prasadam, especially that which is rotting, which used to be disposed of to the cows. The cows used to eat and they used to leave behind, which they are unable to eat. That which is left behind by the cows, Raghunath Das Goswami, he used to eat and he used to survive on that. That was his detachment. That was his renunciation. Yeah. And, one Brajvasi said that nobody can imitate the austerities that have been performed by the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. They are at an extreme end. And when he went to Vrindavan, every day for 22 hours he used to chant. And 2 hours, hardly 2 hours, and that too once in a while he used to rest. We all say, right, for 2 hours of chanting, which is such a big struggle for us in a day, we say that we have to prepare the 22 hours by being in good consciousness. But Raghunath Das Goswami's timetable is opposite. 22 hours he is chanting and only 2 hours he is resting. Yeah. And he used to hardly, and the only thing that he used to survive on was buttermilk. He used to just take a little buttermilk every day. That was all he had. And nothing more. And the power of his tapa, his austerities and his purity and his the power of his bhajan, has attracted so many devotees. Like so many people from around Vrindavan used to come to visit, take his darshan and fall at his feet. Every day they used to be coming. And Raghunath Das Goswami, he made it a point that every day he used to offer at least 1,000 obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Every day he used to offer minimum 1,000 obeisances to the Vaishnavas and 2,000 obeisances. So 2,000 obeisances to the Vaishnavas and 1,000 obeisances to all the deities. So this was his regular sadhana, just offering obeisances. This was how he, passed his time. And he has done some amazing compositions. The Danakeli Kaumidi, the Mukta Charita. These are the beautiful pastimes of Radha Krishna. Very profound. And he's also written some amazing bhajans. And also, as he was doing the bhajan at the Radha Kund, he also served some great devotees like Janva Mata has come. Yeah, and Srinivas Acharya, all these great devotees he served. And he was in their association for a long time. And one day, actually, his bhajan was so intense that he was so oblivious of the surroundings. So one day he was just sitting and doing his japa, chanting, was deeply immersed in his chanting. So when he was deeply immersed in the chanting, at that time, that time Radhakund, it was not like properly constructed and all. So there were two tigers that came to drink water. I mean, there was a tiger, that came to drink water from Radhakund. So, but Raghunath Das Goswami was so lost in the chanting that he never even opened his eyes to see that actually a tiger has come to drink water. Yeah. So it is such a, absorption. Sometimes, we have all the experience of going to Vrindavan. We sit down to chant, we close our eyes, but sometimes, we're always concerned, is there a monkey that's going to come around, or, or some, it's so difficult to actually become oblivious to your surroundings and absorb yourself in your sadhana. So here is Raghunath Das Goswami, who's sitting and chanting, and the tiger came. So at that time, Krishna himself came as a cowherd boy, and he stood with the stick so that, and to protect him. And Raghunath Das Goswami did not know about all this. And from a distance, Sanatan Goswami saw this. Hey, what is this? Krishna is guarding, and Raghunath Das Goswami is chanting. So this is not good. We should serve the Lord and not take service from the Lord. So he instructs Raghunath Das Goswami, hey Raghunath, you have to have your own bhajan kutir. Do not do your japa outside like this. So Raghunath Das Goswami said, yes, I will do it. And again, he continues chanting, even, the next day. So next time when he was chanting, it was so sunny. It was severely, it was scorching heat, in the midsummer. But again, Raghunath Das Goswami was oblivious and he was just immersed in his chanting. So this time Radharani herself came and, she put her ghungat over him, and so that he's protected from the sun. Such affection as a mother. So, so she covers him from the sunlight, and in that way she stands for such a long time until he finishes his bhajan. So again, Sanatan Goswami comes from a distance and he sees this again. Radharani herself covering Raghunath Das Goswami. And, in a mood of course, elation and also at the same time, a transcendental anger, he chastises Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath, what are you doing? You're chanting. What is the meaning of your chanting? Hare Krishna. That means you're begging Radharani to engage you in the service of Krishna. But what are you doing? You're engaging them in your service. This is not good. He says, immediately build yourself a bhajan kutir. This time, Raghunath Das Goswami takes this very seriously, and he builds himself a beautiful bhajan kutir. Not beautiful, a very austere bhajan kutir, but a bhajan kutir nonetheless. And that's where he performs his bhajan for the rest of his life. So this is still there on the banks of Radhakund. And he spent his rest of his life entirely in in the very deep bhajan of Sri Radha Krishna. And it was under his supervision that the whole Radhakund and Shyamkund have been built. And there's a story behind, actually. So I will end it right now. So, and then he performs his final pastimes also there. And that is why even the Samadhi of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami is also situated on the banks of Radhakund. So this is, the qualification, to stay on the banks of Radhakund. One is to be totally subservient to the wishes of, to the instructions of the teachers. And later he has approached Mahaprabhu through the spiritual master, Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And then he always has maintained the mood of Dasanudas, servant of the servant. And he has maintained extreme renunciation. So you see all these gradations, fruitive worker, he had all the fruits of material wealth. He never accepted them. He rejected them. Yeah. Time and again, he was born in an aristocratic family. He wedded to a most beautiful wife, but he has never shown any interest to enjoy them. So this is what is beyond fruitive work, beyond even jnana. And, so it was a stage of complete surrender to the spiritual master and his instructions, by which he was blessed by his superiors. And he was instructed by the dint of his purity and detachment and his seva bhav, devotional service, and intensity of devotional service. He was instructed by Mahaprabhu himself to go and stay at the banks of Radha Kund. So that was when he went and stayed there. So this is what it takes and what it means to live on the banks of Radha Kund. So it's a long journey there to reach that stage. But at least we understand from the example of the Goswamis that what it means to stay on the banks of Radha Kund. In fact, Srila Prabhupada himself says, I personally did not find myself qualified to stay on the banks of Radha Kund. So we all can only think of, just going and offering our obeisances there and truly appreciate from the lives of great acharyas that what actually is the spirit of staying on the banks of Radha Kund. So it is the instruction given by Srila Rupa Goswami that yes, the most intelligent thing to do is to live on the banks of Radha Kund and perform your devotional service there. But what it takes to be there, is something we understand by appreciating the qualities of these great Vaishnavacharyas. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami ki jai, Srila Raghunath Das Bhatta Goswami ki jai, Sri Krishna Dasa Kaviraja Goswami ki jai, Nantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. So thank you all very much. I will end the session here. So late. Any quick question? I can take one if there is. Okay. So I'll end the session here.